Happy Independence Day. One thing we love about this business is our connection to our nation's ideals and principles of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. For so many people, this includes the pursuit of property. With every loan you originate, you reinforce these precious property rights, and that very fact makes you a patriot. One of my favorite patriots is my sister Donohue. She's an incredible person who loves this country passionately. And she chronicled this story about the original signers of the Declaration of Independence, and I wanted to share it with you. It's called Real Courage. 235 years ago, 56 Americans modeled real courage that we Americans now marvel at from the safe distance of centuries and our own comfort. Yet, in honoring their courage, we are challenged to ask ourselves if we could do the same. So, what did they do? They signed their names to the Declaration of Independence. Their signing was not merely a formality, it was an act of ultimate personal courage. On July 4th, 1776, the members of the Second Continental Congress finally agreed to declare independence, and John Hancock affixed his signature to memorialize the agreement. The other members remained anonymous for the moment, but each delegate knew the day was coming when the whole world would learn the name of every man who had declared independence from England. Over 80 copies of the Declaration were then printed and circulated throughout the colonies. Excitement for independence rose among the colonists. A new country was about to be born. However, from the British point of view, this declaration was an act of treason against the British Crown, punishable by death. Could we have done the same? Could we have told our families and friends about the peril that we were now in, preparing our wives for disaster, looking in on sleeping children, and surveying our homes and estates, knowing we may likely lose it all? Would we face death for freedom? Indeed, the threats were real. The British were not about to let this rebellion coalesce into American sovereignty without a fight. And the delegates knew it. The British offered immunity from prosecution as well as safe harbor and money to any of the 56 delegates who would repudiate their agreement to declare independence. The delegates reconvened in Philadelphia on August 2nd. Each man's name was called, and soberly, deliberately, each one affixed their signature to the document. From that day forward, they were marked men. The British relentlessly pursued them for 5 years. If caught, they knew they would die by hanging. Many of the 56 suffered grave hardship. 9 died during the war. 5 were captured and tortured. The estates of 12 more men were burned to the ground, and 17 men lost everything. Richard Stockton of New Jersey was forced to watch while his fine library, one of the most excellent in America, was torched, and then he was forced to ride naked on a horse to prison. Abraham Clark refused to repudiate the Declaration, even to save his sons, who the British had held on their infamous prison ship in the New York harbor. Even though some of the signers went on to lead successful lives, not one of them could be certain on that August day in 1776 that they wouldn't personally lose everything. Yet not one of them hesitated to sign his personal death warrant to declare their independence. The 4th of July is a grand day to celebrate the idea of a country founded on the principle of individual sovereignty and equality before the law. So as you gather your loved ones around you today, take a moment and think back to these founding heroes and all the individuals who personally risked everything for this idea we know as freedom. Happy birthday, America. Be strong, stay vigilant, and I'll see you on the high road.